so much for being our MC this afternoon. We truly appreciate it. And we are really grateful to be able to gather a room full of industry leaders here today to talk about technology, innovation, and the disruption that digitisation brings to our industry. As part of our really exciting journey of building a global technology startup, we get to travel the world and learn about the latest innovation trends and learn about the highlights from global industry leaders. Recently, as Hugh mentioned, we've attended similar events to this one overseas, and we got to participate in discussions around digitisation and where the industry is heading. Things like document management and collaboration technologies, BIM, cost management, health and safety, more recently, real-time labour tracking, data analysis, and augmented reality. These events are now only starting to emerge on the international scale. The Build Worlds Conference in Chicago was the first of its kind. The recent Acuite Construction Tech Summit in Melbourne was absolutely phenomenal. Next week, Europe will be holding its own Digital Construction Week in London, and they're expecting about 3,000 people to attend that. We, however, strongly believe that the innovation that is being generated here in New Zealand and the industry adoption that is happening is of a world class. So we're truly excited to bring that conversation into the local market, and thank you for taking the time to be here.
Yeah, look, just before we get started, I'd also like to thank a lot of you. I know a lot of you personally, and I know you're horrendously busy, so it's great to see all of you here today. Just as we kick it off, personally, you know, I've seen an evolution of technology within the construction space, having come from the tools. I started basically on them in 1999, not that long ago, especially for some of you in the room, especially you, Rod, with a sporting beard like that, mate. But you know, especially over the last 6 years, I suppose there was a real influx of systems penetrating into the industry, and what I'm saying there, like there was always ERP systems and things, but for site level and site management, project management tools, we saw a real uptake there. Over the past 3 years or so, there's been a huge evolution of mobile technology, of course, with the whole revolution that's come with the smartphone adoption. What's more from this is that people are now expecting, you know, well, they get so many benefits out of technology in their personal lives that it doesn't really matter what walk of life they come from, they're starting to expect to see those same benefits at work, that same easy access to data and the ability to basically, you know, to use their smartphones and their tablets whilst they're at work. Just it doesn't matter what sector you're in, especially construction. So just like the exponential growth that we've basically experienced in technology uptake, we're now seeing this coming in to the sector. Now, look, everybody with these sorts of presentations always harps on about all of the negatives. You know, we always hear about the poor productivity rates, you know, over time, over budget, health and safety stats are terrible. And don't worry, we'll get into all of that a bit later, so you won't miss out on it. But the main point is here is that I just want to illustrate some of the positives that we're dealing with here within the industry. So obviously, construction sector makes up 5% of GDP. Well, what does that mean? It means it's the 5th largest sector within the country, within the market. What's more, 1 in 12 people within the country are employed in construction, and furthermore from that, 1 in 7 new jobs over the past 10 years has actually been as a result of the construction industry. Now also, which is pretty phenomenal, I reckon, for every dollar that's pumped into construction, $3 comes out into the national economy. So that's something pretty cool to be proud of, and we're right in the thick of it here, all around us. I mean, you can see the activity happening at 25 billion by 2018. It's a pretty awesome space to be in. I guess the other thing that needs to be mentioned, I feel, with construction is more of a qualitative measure. And what we have here is really pride, you know, like it's what makes people stick around in an industry that is bloody tough. You know, it's not a 9-to-5er, and certainly, you know, you're thrown a lot of adverse conditions and challenges throughout the course of projects. Now, upon achieving projects, there's no better satisfaction, you know, and I've experienced that on a personal basis throughout my short career in context, but I've also worked with some real characters who have spent 50 or 60 years within the industry. One of those blokes a lot of you in here would know, and you know, have varying opinions about maybe, but a guy, Dave Randall, and look, he was involved 60 odd years within the industry. It was only really at his funeral that I was made aware of the magnitude of basically all of the buildings that he had touched around Auckland, you know. And sure, he had a hell of a lot of help with all of that, and it was a team effort, but hey, what a great legacy to be able to look around and see that you have made your mark on the skyline. So another project manager that I worked with, every single job that he did, he would plant a garden in front of the site shed, you know. So make it nice for the visitors and for everyone walking in on the site. And this was every job. The grandkids would come in on Sundays and water and weed it, you know. And so what I'm saying is construction is often more a way of life rather than the 9-to-5er. As I said, it's definitely not that. We all know that. But you know, there's a hell of a lot of pride at stake at the end of the day, which keeps people in the industry. And on that note, I feel there's a great opportunity with the advances being made in construction to not only build things faster, more efficiently and more effectively, but also to really have an impact on the people who basically are truly passionate about what they do.
Excellent. Okay, enough of the feel-good stuff. Now it's time to address some of the issues. This graph behind me has been put together by a professor at Stanford University. It is a remarkable visual that has shown you productivity index of a span of 60 years comparing all non-farm industries other than construction compared to construction industry trend lines. What we are seeing is that non-farm industries are improving on the time, they're becoming more productive, and innovation is happening as it should be. All the bottom lines represent construction industry lines. The trend is the same, it's stagnant. Actually, it's decreasing at a rate of 0.3% on an annual basis. It means that we are getting worse. But what drives this? That's the real critical question. We believe that the embedded manual practices that resisted the adoption of technology are crucial for those trend lines, as well as the aged workforce that is now changing and the complex and dynamic nature of operations. No one project is the same as another. But what we do believe now is that that trend is changing. We believe that the industry is now at a tipping point of technology adoption, and we at Acuite are on the mission to change the status quo. We believe that the time to do so could not be any better, because all of the factors that I've just described are now changing. Think about it. Personally, I remember 6-7 years ago when David first started in site management, the site superintendents didn't even use a computer on site. They used to get an office admin person to print out their emails. Now, site managers are people like David and myself, those who have been through university, typically in their 30s, 40s, and they use smart devices in their personal lives and they expect the same at work. But not only that, what we are now seeing is that these people on the ground are downloading their own apps from the App Store to help them with their daily jobs. And what we may end up having is having 5 or 6 people on the ground delivering the jobs and utilising 5 or 6 different applications in their pockets. So all of their critical data that they're inputting as part of their daily operations is sitting in their back pocket. This is really fascinating. This is a Google Trend word search for construction technology. What we are saying is that over the last 9 years, the trend has been consistent, and it looks similar to those productivity lines that we just looked at. And here suddenly in 2016, a huge peak. Now, more than ever, people within the industry are actively looking for technology and innovation. Examples of this on a global scale include the Construction Drive magazine, who have just recently started a whole new publication on construction tech that goes out globally on a monthly basis. Venture capital firms are pouring significant amount of money into this space. A great recent example is a young tech startup in the US called PlanGrid, about 5 years old or so, who have recently raised about $58 million within the last 12 months. Or Procore, a well-known document management system, raising $50 million for only about 10% equity of their business. The number of apps that are now available for construction in the App Store are greater than ever before.
Yeah, so look, this is a bit of a visualisation of what Antonia is talking about here, and it's really a pretty cool picture to see. You know, so there's so much innovation and efficiencies which are being created from all of this, but what it is doing is starting to create, you know, a bit of information overload, and how we deal with this. It really poses another challenge, which is great, you know, and it's one that we are actively addressing. But essentially, we've got all this innovation, as I said, in the space, all these efficiencies. People are downloading their own apps and things, which is a fantastic way to do it. You know, it really weeds out all of the rubbish when the people actually using the tools come back to the company and you know, come to the company with solutions. However, there is a risk that data can be stored in people's back pockets, that, you know, a company can end up with 5 different projects, and 5 different systems all addressing the same issues as a result. So really there needs to be a bit of a joining of the dots here, and there needs to be some connection to bring all of this information together and to start harvesting relevant information from each system into a central portal to provide some consistency and really a source of truth for site teams. But really it goes deeper than that. You know, we'll get into this in a sec. It's really about arming people with information and the ability to make good decisions as well at the end of the day. Okay, so just to illustrate what we're talking about here, we'll show you a short video. It features a project just up the road here that Dominion Constructors are doing. Everyone's in force here tonight, which is awesome this afternoon. So you can see this building going up in the background. Essentially what we have in the bottom left is an efficiency curve, which is really, showcasing the productivity on the sites as we've gone along. What we have up here is the manual siloed systems that we're currently dealing with. It's pretty much the status quo. Now a lot of the manual systems are getting replaced, by technology, by apps, by a lot of really cool stuff, and efficiencies will improve obviously as that happens. However, you are going to reach a ceiling as a company. There is only so much refining that you can do when all of your information sources are still held in silo. It creates a lot of problems. So what we're getting now, as I said before, is sort of this information overload. And there's a hell of a lot we can do with all of these tools, but what we really need to start concentrating on is the joining of the dots, the APIs, not the CPUs, and we need to start bringing it all together into one consistent platform, and really that's where we see the future and the challenges over the next couple of years. As soon as you can do that, you can start creating the relationships between all of the data. Like construction jobs are not just single phase activities, and every problem often has another 6 problems behind it that are all interrelated. So viewing all of this information at once is critical to be able to really start skyrocketing and boost your performance as a company. That's where we see the challenge in the future lies. Okay, so all this talk about construction analytics, well, what does it really mean? I guess to put it simply, projects always have predetermined outcomes. Okay, there's always a timeline, there's an end date, there's budgets, expected margins, there's health and safety objectives, quality objectives, etc. As we go through the project, we often deviate from the plan. It goes without saying, you're always going to get it. However, it's the magnitude and the frequency of these variations from the plan over the multiple factors that build up and start pushing out these predetermined objectives that we have. So construction analytics is all about bringing that information together from across all of those multiple sources and arming people on the ground with the tools to be able to actually alleviate and pick some of these problems before they occur and basically minimise the frequency and the impact of these negative variances. Now what I'm talking about here, you could go 3 weeks over on the piling in the ground. You could have had the plumbers being sprung up on the roof not wearing harnesses. There goes another 2 days off your program. Your P&G blows out from the atrium scaffold. It's just on and on. Now, if you collect data from across your projects and you start to throw insights back at the team, and they know that piling is one of the #1 risks when they're in the ground, all of a sudden you have extra emphasis placed on this, and the conversation starts before you actually get started on site. You start looking at the number of rigs that you need, how you're going to alleviate that and trying to minimise that impact. The plumbers, you have the history of their accidents and their observations. That fall from height is a major risk. So you preempt those conversations, and that goes for hundreds of data points. And really it's about making those relationships and making the insights relevant at the end of the day so people can make better, faster, more effective decisions. Okay, so in terms of how this is playing out in reality, over in the UK, there's a project currently being built, Crossrail, which is the UK's largest civil rail project at the moment. Now obviously there's a heap of tunnels involved, something that we're getting a bit more familiar with around here in Auckland. Now basically over there, the issue for them was how much settlement was going to occur above all of the areas where they were tunnelling. In order to assess this, they planted hundreds of thousands of sensors all around the job sites and the tunnels, and they had a team of 22 engineers that would pour over 350 pages of data every single morning to be able to identify where the risks were. Now, of course, this was extremely error-prone, it was a manual process, and it had limited scope, so they built themselves their own software. They modelled, basically, and predicted all of the settlement factors from this software, and they built dashboards to be able to basically view up the risk to all of the site and the project teams. Now, this was a huge success for them. They're being awfully secretive about their algorithms and the things that they used, you know, it's all in-house, but it's a prime example of how digitisation is starting to impact on construction. Now, this is in civil, but we are starting to see this more and more through our conversations with people in the industry. There's a thirst and a hunger for this in the vertical sector, and people are starting to realise that, hey, you know, we're getting a shitload of data here now, we can start using it, and we can actually start using it for our advantage. Give me the dashboards and let me make decisions, you know? So that's where it really is heading.
Right, all of this leads us to the fact that you can't manage what you can't measure. And there's so much wisdom in that saying, because it basically explains why the abundance of digital data is so important. Simply put, because of data, managers can now measure and therefore know much more about the project and the business than ever before, and therefore directly translate that knowledge into improved decision making and performance management. This year, approximately 5 exabytes of data are being created every day. That number is doubling every 40 months or so. More data crosses the internet every single second than it was stored in the whole entire internet just 20 years ago. The recent Harvard Review study found that the more companies that characterize themselves as being data-driven, the better they performed on objective measures such as financial and operational results. And in particular, companies that use data-driven decision-making were on average 5% more productive and 6% more profitable than their competitors. This is a really great survey that's been done by KPMG this year. They've done a global survey into the global construction industry. They've interviewed over 200 executives and companies on the global level, and they've concluded that data volume is rising, yet the industry struggles to draw any meaningful insights out of it. Over 75% of the people who they have interviewed have indicated that they are not using advanced analytics for project-related performance monitoring, and that integrated real-time reporting is still a dream versus reality. Only 20% of the people that have interviewed on a global level have indicated that they are fully using an integrated information system across their entire enterprise. And the industry still holds a great potential for mobile update. Even though we're saying that there's so much happening in the digital space, less than a third of their respondents have indicated that they are using mobile technology routinely as part of their business operation. I love this graph. It's really fascinating. It's basically saying that about 70% of the people that they've interviewed on a global level are saying that they rank themselves as industry followers or behind the curve of technology adoption. How would you rank your organisation? Think about it. And with all of that proliferation of apps and systems and technologies that are rapidly emerging, how do you think the construction industry ranks compared to other sectors in the economy in terms of digitisation? Unfortunately, we are still being seen as the leaders in the digital economy.
Yeah, but not for too much longer, as we've really seen here today and as we're all experiencing. You know, going back to what I was saying before, really the uptake, and we've said it a few times tonight, but the you know, the personal technology that's impacting on people's lives now is really going to start infiltrating into construction. It has been a slower adopter, but it's been hard, you know, like it's been a lot easier to adopt technology in other industries, obviously manufacturing, etc. But construction is now at a point where it's about to take off. So there are challenges in basically how we organise the current sort of chaos that's happening a bit, you know, like we are seeing a lot of information overload and whatnot, but they're good challenges to have, and we certainly think that, you know, as businesses, you really need to start looking at how you can take full advantage of that, otherwise there's a fear of being left behind.
The projected growth in Auckland alone is about 25 billion by 2018. It's going to take more than just throwing 30,000 people to get the job done. We're going to need to work smarter and utilise the data and the information that is already existing in those construction jobs. Let's hear from Hugh and the other panellists about technology and innovation and how that plays an integral part of their businesses and how they go about implementation and adoption of those systems. Thank you.